Welcome back to AFT Die Season 9. It is round two, and we've got St Kilda on top, Richmond down the bottom. Match of the round for round two is Geelong versus Melbourne. Let's get stuck into it. It is Port Adelaide and GWS at Adelaide Oval. Go to the first quarter, and the first quarter's underway. Now we completed, and it's complete. Port Adelaide have kicked 6 goals, 5 to GWS, 5 goals, 5. So it's a goal the difference to Port Adelaide, 41 to 35. Let's go to the second quarter in this match. Port Adelaide and GWS need to win to avoid the 0 and 2. And Port Adelaide have kicked 5 goals, 2 to Port Adelaide, 1 goal, 1. So at half time, Port Adelaide are up by 31 points. Who's going to come out after half time to take this game? And Port Adelaide have kicked 6 goals, 4 to GWS, 3 goals, 5 in that third quarter. And we've got Port Adelaide up by 48 points. Let's go to the last quarter in this Port Adelaide versus GWS at Adelaide Oval game. Last quarter, nearly completed. And it's complete. Port Adelaide, they've kicked 4 goals, 6 to GWS, 4 goals, 5 in that last quarter, and Port Adelaide have won by 49 points. Port Adelaide final score 21-17, 143 to GWS Giants, 13-16, 94. So the premiers from season 8 are now 0 and 2. All right, let's go to the second game. It is Collingwood versus Hawthorn at the MCG. And Collingwood have 2 wins out of 2 games. We've got Hawthorn kicking 6 goals, 3 to Collingwood, 1 goal, 4. After quarter time, Hawthorn are up by 29 points. And Collingwood come back in that second quarter. Collingwood have kicked 5 goals, 2 to Hawthorn, 2 goals, 6. And 15 points the difference to Hawthorn, 57 to 42. Let's go to the third quarter in this game. It's Monday, the 5th of May, 2025. And Collingwood have kicked 6 goals, 3 to Hawthorn, 6 goals, 5. And it's 17 points the difference to Hawthorn, 98 to 81. Let's see if Collingwood can have a big last quarter to get over the line. Wasn't the case. Hawthorn, 10-point winners. They kicked 3 goals, 1 to Collingwood, 4-2 in that last quarter. And Collingwood final score 16-11, 107 to Hawthorn, 17-15, 117. All right, let's go to the next game. It's match of the round, Geelong versus Melbourne at GMHBA Stadium. First quarter underway. And Melbourne have kicked 5 goals, 2 to Geelong, 1 goal, 1 in that first quarter. And Melbourne are 25 points up, 32 to 7. Quarter underway. And Geelong, they've kicked 4 goals, 6 to Melbourne, 3 goals, 6. And at half time, Geelong are down by 19 points, 37 to 56. Go to the third quarter. Going to come out strong in the second half. And it was pretty even. Melbourne won it by 1 point. They kicked 6 goals, 5 to Geelong, 6 goals, 4. And it's 20 points the difference Melbourne's way, 97 to 77. Go to the last quarter. See who will win this game. And in the end, Melbourne have pushed forward. They've kicked 5 goals, 6 to Geelong, 1-6 in that last quarter. Melbourne win by 44 points. Final scores for Melbourne 19-19, 133 to Geelong 12-17, 89. So Collingwood and Geelong, who were in the top four, have been beaten. So let's go to the next game. It's Sydney Swans versus North Melbourne at the SCG. Let's go this first quarter in this game. First quarter has North Melbourne up by 1 point. They kicked 5 goals to Sydney 5-3. That's North Melbourne 34-33. Go to the second quarter in this game. Second quarter's completed. Sydney have kicked 3 goals 6 to North Melbourne 1 goal 3. And Sydney are up by 14 points, 57-43 at halftime. Third quarter underway. Game. Sydney and North Melbourne are outside the age. Third quarter completed. Sydney have kicked 4 goals 2 to North Melbourne 3 goals 3. And at three-quarter time, North Melbourne are down by 19 points, 54-83. Last quarter completed, and Sydney have just won by 6 points. Okay, let's go to the next game. It's Brisbane versus Carlton at the Gabba. Let's go to the first quarter. Sydney, last game, wins by 6 points, 107-101. First quarter nearly completed. And we've got Carlton kicking 5 goals 3 to Brisbane, 4 goals 5. So Carlton are up by 4 points after quarter time. Second quarter completed. Brisbane, they kicked 5 goals 4 to Carlton, 4 goals 5. And Brisbane are up by 1 point at halftime, 63-62. What's going to happen in the second half of this game? And Brisbane have kicked 6 goals 6 to Carlton, 4 goals 4. And Brisbane are up by 15 points, 105-90. Let's see what happens in the last quarter of this game. And Brisbane win by 26 points. They've kicked 5 goals 6 to Carlton, 4 goals 1 in that last quarter. Brisbane, final score 20 goals 21, 141 to Carlton, 17-13, 115. So that puts Brisbane in second, just behind Melbourne on top of the ladder. All right, let's go to the next game. It is Adelaide Crows versus West Coast Eagles at Adelaide Oval. First quarter underway. And we've got West Coast Eagles kicking 6 goals 4 to Adelaide, 3-1 in that first quarter. West Coast are up by 21 points, 40-19. Second quarter underway. So second quarter, Adelaide, they win by 3 points. They kicked 5 goals 6 to 5-3. Half time, Adelaide down by 18 points, 55-73. Let's go to the third quarter of this game. And Adelaide have kicked 4 goals 1 to West Coast, 1 goal 4. And at three-quarter time, it's 3 points the difference. West Coast way, 83-80. Can Adelaide get over the line, or West Coast get their first win for the season? And West Coast have won their first game for the season. They kicked 3 goals 2 to Adelaide, 1-2 in that last quarter. Final score, Adelaide 13-10, 88 to West Coast, 15-13, 183. All right, let's go to the next game. It's Fremantle versus Richmond at Optus Stadium. and Richmond avoid having 2 losses for the season. Fremantle, they've kicked 3 goals, 1 in that first quarter to Richmond, 2 goals, 2, and it's 5 points the difference. Fremantle's way, 19-14. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Richmond have kicked 4 goals, 6 to Fremantle, 3 goals, 3. And at half time, Richmond are up by 4 points, 44-40 in this game. And the third quarter completed. Richmond have kicked 2 goals, 1 to Fremantle, 1 goal, 1. And it's Richmond by 10 points, 57-47. Go the last quarter of this game. And in the end, Fremantle have got up and won this game. They kicked 4 goals, 4 to Richmond, 1 goal, 1 in that last quarter. Fremantle win by 11 points. Final score, Fremantle 11-9, 75 to Richmond 9-10, 64. So that leaves Richmond with 2 losses. Could this be the first season that they don't make the finals? All right, let's go to the next game. St Kilda versus Essendon at Marvel Stadium. We've got Essendon kicked 6 goals, 4 to St Kilda, 3 goals, 6. So Essendon at quarter time are up by 16 points, 40-24. Second quarter underway, and we've got St Kilda kicked 6 goals, 6 to Essendon, 5 goals, 5. And at half time, St Kilda down by 9 points, 66-75. Let's go to the third quarter. Can St Kilda win this game and be on top of the ladder? Okay, St Kilda have kicked 2 goals, 4 to Essendon, 1 goal, 5 in that third quarter. And Essendon are up by 4 points, 86-82. Let's go to the last quarter. Let's see who will win this game. Pretty close. And in the end, St Kilda have won by 9 points. St Kilda, they kicked 6 goals, 1 to Essendon, 3 goals, 6 in that last quarter. St Kilda 17-17, 119 to Essendon, 15-20, 110. And St Kilda are on top of the ladder with Melbourne and Brisbane and Fremantle with 2 wins for the start of the season. Let's go to the last game of the round. Round 2, Western Bulldogs versus Gold Coast Suns at Marvel Stadium. It's quarter nearly completed. And we've got Gold Coast kicking 6 goals, 1 to Western Bulldogs, 2-3 in that first quarter. 22 points down, Western Bulldogs, 15-37. Second quarter underway. And we've got Western Bulldogs kicking 1 goal, 1 to Gold Coast, 4 goals, 6. And at half time, Gold Coast are up by 45 points, 67-22. Third quarter underway. And we've got the Gold Coast Suns. They've kicked 4 goals, 5 to Bulldogs, 1 goal, 2. And Gold Coast at 3-quarter time are up by 66 points, 96-30. Go to the last quarter of the round to complete it. And last quarter, Gold Coast have kicked 2 goals, 6 to Western Bulldogs, 1 goal, 2. And that puts Gold Coast a win over Western Bulldogs by 76 points. Western Bulldogs final score 5-8-38 to Gold Coast 16-18, 114. And that was a big finish for a Gold Coast Suns. And that puts them on top of the ladder with a huge percentage of 197.2. So we've got Gold Coast Suns on top with St Kilda, Melbourne and Brisbane Lions in the top 4. with 2 wins. And then outside the top 4, we've got Fremantle with 2 wins, Collingwood, Port Adelaide, and West Coast Eagles in the top 8. And then down the bottom, we've got North Melbourne, Carlton, Richmond, GWS Giants, who were the premiers for season 8, and Western Bulldogs, all on no wins for the season so far. Well, that concludes round 2 for AFT Dice Season 9. It is Monday the 5th of May, 2025. We'll see you on Friday the 9th of May, 2025 for round 3.